TMCs are needed. And I'll just say, like, it may not be as quantifiable as I would like at this time, but I truly believe that we, the TMC and the operators, have mitigated crashes. They have notified important parties of really critical information, safety information across the region.
Today, we're taking you inside one of DOT's most critical and least seen operations, our Traffic Management Centers, or TMCs.
The New York State Department of Transportation presents the DOT POD.
And welcome into the DOT POD. I'm Josh Heller.
And I'm Anya Cardos.
And we are delighted to have you joining us. Well, today we're visiting one of DOT's Traffic Management Centers, or TMCs. Now, these 24/7 hubs are the eyes and ears of New York's roadway network. Inside, skilled operators track live camera feeds and analyze data so they can take quick action in case something serious happens, like a crash, a storm, or a flood. You name it, they are on top of it. They also coordinate with first responder agencies, and they literally provide safety nets for millions of traveling people.
That's why we're so excited to welcome Anthony Roach, Senior Transportation Analyst, and Elana Walchusky, System Operator 3, both based here in the Utica region. They're going to give us an insider's look at how our TMC operators manage all this chaos so the rest of us can get to where we're going smoothly and safely. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you for
Thanks for having us.
Well, now, Anthony, you're an old hand at this. You've been with us in the past for kind of a different part of your job.
Sure.
We're going to talk about what you do on your day to day, and we may have mentioned that a little bit, but that was for our training. That we had the drill, that
staging drill.
Yeah, the staging drill that was here. So we talked to you about that, but now we're going to talk to you about your normal job, your regular job, your day-to-day job,
your regular gig,
the non-emergency preparedness job, and so that should be interesting. So I guess we'll start out how we normally do. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you got here.
So I am now the TMC manager for Region 2, and so I'm on the state side. Elena's on the consultant side of it, and she's kind of the operations manager in the TMC. And so that entails quite a bit, coordinating with stakeholders, public safety stakeholders, 911 centers, the county emergency managers, state police, the residencies in Region 2, and other regions as well when we do statewide in-state deployments.
And Elana, tell
Yes.
us a little bit about your journey here at DOT and what you do.
Well, as Anthony said, I'm the System Operator 3, and what I do is I oversee the TMC along with my counterpart in the afternoon, Patrick. And we make sure that everything is running smoothly through the center. We want to make sure that everybody is, riding on the state highways safely. I started here 10 years ago. I'm the only original left here.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you. And we started off as a Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. center. It would go to Region 1 in Albany on the after hours and weekends. And then once we noticed that we were really becoming more important and more needed, we went to a 24/7 operation.
It's actually when we're in the TMC right now.
Yes.
Like we're just outside the room, and
Yes.
Josh and I can, if we look to our right, we can see what's going on in the TMC, and we're looking at large screens. Obviously, these are cameras, video, like live stream cameras that are capturing traffic, stuff like that. Explain for those who don't know what goes on in a TMC, which I would imagine there's many people that don't. What is the purpose of all of this, and what are you guys doing here on a daily basis? What is the role of the TMC?
The role of the TMC is to compile the information that is being brought in from outside stakeholders, as like the 911 centers, state police, sheriff's departments, and we take that information and we dispatch it to our maintenance residencies. And with the cameras that you see, we have 49 cameras that we monitor, and they do not record.
They're just like a live feed.
Yep. We do not record those, and we use them to monitor the traffic. We can watch a weather pattern come in from either the east or the west, and we can watch, and we can almost time it. You know, if we see something happening out in Oneida, and we can track it we can say, well, about an hour it's going to be hitting the Utica area.
Yeah, so you can kind of time it out. You know when you're going to be hit.
See the future.
Yeah,
right.
Almost,
yes.
Like
I got to ask, you know, it's you mentioned the number of cameras that there are, and you know when you look in there, and there'll be pictures that we'll have that will be associated with the podcast in the description, so you can see what we're seeing. I feel like it's a little intimidating. How do you? What are we looking at? Like, there's so much happening. It's a lot. I feel like it's almost almost
like
intimidating.
A lot to keep track of.
It is.
Yeah, and so I'm assuming that you're able to use those when needed, but you also have other types of alerts that you get so that you can say like, okay, let's take a look at what's going on in this camera, as opposed to just watching them all waiting for something to happen. Which just
Correct. Because you're looking
it seems a little Clockwork Orange. Like so I gotta find everything. It's a lot.
And then you're looking for accidents, issues, stuff like that, right? So
right. Well, what we have is a on our computers, we leave up our Oneida County dispatch page, which is the only one that we have that's live feed on the internet. We also have a scanner that we can play off of the internet as well for the other counties. And we monitor that as well. And if we see something that on that blotter, we can pull up a camera that's closest to it and take a better look at it. We can move the cameras and we can zoom in to see if there's something, or we can zoom out to make sure that the public isn't seeing something that might be there.
So for instance, this might be like the 911 dispatch for the sheriff's office.
Yes.
And there's something that pops up like reports from drivers of a crash or a car on the side of the road.
Yep.
That's what you're looking at?
That's what we're looking for, yep.
Okay. And then you're able to kind of find that location on those cameras?
Yes. Those cameras in there are based on a lot of our major intersections. You'll see the 5812 corridor on there, which is one of our major corridors in the county. And there's also ones all over the region. I mean, we cover the 6 counties here.
So you're not just watching this, though. You're not just and then not doing anything.
No.
What happens next then?
These cameras also, I just want to say, these cameras supplement the information that we're getting from our residency crews and the public safety stakeholders.
Yeah.
So the cameras sometimes are the first line of defense where we see a crash happen. And the TMC will then notify our partners rather than getting information from our partners.
Yeah.
So it does go both ways.
Right.
And they're located really along, like Elana said, our priority intersections, but priority network is something that we've developed in the region. And that's whether it's a high volume of traffic, or it's a major truck route, or it's a route that we deem necessary for regional security, like 49 from Utica Rome, the Utica Rome Expressway.
Yeah,
that's on the priority network, and so we like to monitor these priority corridors.
Right.
So and we talked about how this is a 24/7 operation, 365. I'm just thinking, while we're recording this, yesterday was 12 hours worth of snow, about a foot of snow dropped here. Do you have to change the amount of people and coverage that are here to make sure that during that or any type of event that that might be going on, whether it's a weather-related event, whether whatever it might be, to make sure that you're fully staffed? I mean, that has to be something that when these things happen, that you're prepared.
Absolutely, we did actually do that for this past weekend. We went from Wednesday through Saturday. We were double coverage in there so that nobody was alone in case there was high priority emergency.
Last night, what were you able to see? Because as Josh mentioned, or yesterday during the day, there was a ton of snow across a wide area in the state. What were you seeing, and what did you guys help first responders respond to?
We luckily in our region, we did not have
Wow,
any
that's
crashes.
amazing.
We had a few tractor trailers, stuck on some of our larger hills.
Okay.
And we actually couldn't see that from our cameras.
Uh-huh.
But our residency crews are out there plowing
Right.
and monitoring the system.
Extra
in the
eyes and
field.
ears. Yeah.
They are the eyes and ears of the field in the region. And so with that double coverage, we were able to better report out the conditions of our system to not only our internal stakeholders, but external stakeholders, including the public, via 511 New York.
Right. 501 New York is our website where anyone can go on and check conditions and issues. If there's anything going on with the roadways that you need to know about before you head out, for your trip or your commute, you can check that website out.
Yeah, you can see which routes are most impacted by the snowstorm and which routes are relatively clear.
Mm-hmm. It's a great tool.
Yep.
We just previously, prior to coming in here, were across the hallway at the signal shop, and we talked to them. And if you're curious about what happened on that podcast episode, just go back an episode.
Right, check it out.
Check it out. Check out all our catalog. But regardless, we talked to them about the coordination that they have with you guys, and talk about the coordination that you have with them when you see something. Whether it's you talk about the camera system, the lights. If you're seeing something flashing, that you're able to work with them to make sure that whatever it is figured out and taken care of.
Yep. We get an email from our ATMS system that says that the signal is on flash, and sometimes we can verify them on the cameras, and sometimes we will call the police departments to see if they could go out and take a look and see if the signal is on flash. Mm-hmm. If they call back and say that the signal is on flash, then we will dispatch to the traffic signal group, whoever's on call that day, and they will go out and take care of the signal. And then once they're clear, they will come back and let us know that the signal has been repaired and everything is flowing freely again.
The signal crew also maintains the region's ITS devices. And so those include our cameras, our VMS boards, which message to the traveling public, and flashing beacons or wrong way detection systems.
You mentioned VMS, so that is the variable message sign. Talk a little bit about those and the importance of those, of keeping the traveling public aware of what's going on and potentially helping to avoid major traffic issues.
Yeah, and those are also a supplement to all the other ways that the traveling public is notified. So, sometimes you'll get an alert on your phone if there's an impending storm, or the many ways that the traveling public is informed of what's going on out in the world. The VMS are a supplement, and they, whether it's a construction zone ahead, we can be very specific about what conditions drivers can expect. We can let them know that there's stopped traffic ahead, there's a blocked lane. If there's a crash ahead, we can divert traffic much more easily with VMS than setting up a whole detour with our residency forces per se. If it's not a long detour, we can just message and try to divert a portion of that traffic away from whatever the hazard may be.
And can you do that remotely? Just
Yes.
sort of change that's great.
We do it right from our desks.
Oh, so you can just sort of change the message, or, roads may be icy, drive safe, or, closure ahead, something like that if it's real bad.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
How many TMCs are across the state? How many does DOT have?
DOT has 10 TMCs for 11 regions. One region, Region 7, is covered by other TMCs.
So that's the North Country, Region 7.
Yes. Yep. There is also TSOC, which is the Thruway TMC. And they cover the whole state in just one TMC.
Oh, with one.
Yep.
Yeah.
We coordinate with TSOC quite a bit too. When just recently we had an instance where the Thruway had westbound lanes closed between Utica and Verona?
Westmoreland and Verona. And throughway traffic that was headed westbound was diverted to state highway system.
And not only did we deploy a portable VMS, but we put out an extra sign or two to, detour that traffic. And we maintained interstate traffic on the state system for close to 7 hours.
Yeah, 7 to 8 hours.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's really helpful. And vice versa. This is kind of how it works.
Yeah. If we're having an issue on our system, a lot of their exit ramps will have traffic signals at them, or a construction project that's taking place right at an exit or an entrance. We'll coordinate with TSOC and the Thruway Authority quite a bit.
How about the coordination between the other TMCs in the DOT system? Obviously, all the roads are connected eventually, and so something, depending on the size of it, depending on the severity of it, that happens. You mentioned you might see it down the line, but it's going to have its effects here. How is the coordination between the other TMCs to make sure that, if something's happening someplace else, you're prepared for it when the eventual repercussions come here, and that you're able to prepare other TMCs for what could potentially be coming down the line for them?
It's fairly seamless. We are in contact with the other regions. Especially Region 3, Region 9, and Region 1, which encapsulates us pretty much.
Region 3 is the Syracuse area, Region 9 is Binghamton area, and Region 1 is the capital region, Albany area.
Yep. So we've had, incidents. Most recently, we had one down in Region 9 that we had to coordinate because they used our VMS boards that we had, and they're kind of tied into their region, but we have control of them. So we were able to message for them for a construction project.
Here in Utica, your TMC just celebrated its 10th year. So congratulations.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Still got the balloons up.
Yeah, I see it behind me.
10th birthday.
10th birthday. What does that feel like to have 10 years under your belt here for the TMC? And you have anything special planned to celebrate?
So I have only been I've been working with the TMC for about 5 years now. So
and
only half of that time.
Elana, you've been here
Since day one.
Since day one.
Yep.
So what does that feel like to know that you guys have come so far?
It's
10 years.
To think back as to what we started as is just 3 people in here, and
Right.
We are now a group of 8, and it's great.
As you said,
it
it was
feels very accomplished. I've been able to watch this grow and to become more important, and being able to prove that we are needed.
TMCs are needed, and I'll just say, it may not be as quantifiable as I would like at this time, but I truly believe that we, the TMC and the operators, have mitigated crashes. They have notified important parties of really critical information, safety information across the region, and coordinated with our partners throughout many large-scale events, planned special events, unplanned emergency flooding, and they're there, like we said, 24/7, 365. But when things go wrong, the TMC is and when things go right, the TMC is the hub of information. They are always intaking information and putting it out to the right parties in a timely manner, accurately.
Elana, I'm curious. We talk about kind of the maturation of this place. What is it, technologically wise? Obviously, things have improved over 10 years. The use of cameras is now far, far more than it was.
Mm-hmm.
How has that been? What kind of changes have you seen as far as just technologically what the capabilities are of the TMC now versus, a decade ago?
Well, when we started, we were very minimum with the functionalities of the cameras and the programs that we were using and everything. We had all separate programs to, program the VMS boards and to move the cameras and to send out the emails and everything. And to put construction onto 511 as well. Now we run one program that controls our VMS, that controls our cameras, that we are able to input construction or high incidents, all of that into one program, and then it feeds out to where it needs to go.
That's interesting. You brought up construction. How do you guys coordinate when it comes to work zones? How does that work out?
we have the construction engineers send us a weekly report of what they're planning on doing for that construction job. Okay. And then I compile the report once a week, and it goes out to the media. It goes out to, like the newspapers and the news, and to anyone in the region as well. That information also gets placed onto 511. So anybody can go into 511, click on the little construction cone that's on there, and they can see what's going on in that job.
Yeah. Again, a really good resource.
A very, very good resource.
This is constantly being updated.
Yes, it is
useful.
Updated daily. Even with the incidents like a road closure, a major crash, or anything like that, that is fed into 511 from our system that we use.
Obviously, and Anthony, you mentioned, you have no doubt, and neither do I, that the TMC has been able to avoid crashes or mitigated, whatever that might be. There has to be, for all of you, a sense of pride. I mean, you're working 24/7. It's not just a job. It's something that you take pride in, keeping the roads safe for every New Yorker, but also for your friends, your family. There has to be something cool about that, to be able to sit back and say, things are running smoothly, and I had a part in that. I helped with that. That's something.
Yeah, even if it's a small part, I love what I do, and I know a lot of the operators. They've come from other industry backgrounds and some completely unrelated, but a lot of our operators have been here for quite a while, and they really love what they do too. I'm speaking for them, Elena, but I think that's true.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Myself, I came from a retail background, so I had no idea what any of this was. But to learn it and to see what we actually do, and especially after that last crash on the thruway, and to see how much we were able to help get the traveling public back onto the thruway safely and in a timely manner, it was really a proud moment.
Yes.
And one of the things, Anthony, we had you on last time talking about, emergency preparedness, having that part of your job, which we're not really talking about today because, we A, have already mentioned it, and B, it's not super pertinent. But at the same time, that has to kind of bleed into this as well. Just kind of that mindset of like, all right, here's a problem. We got to triage. We got to go. And it's time, being able to deal with even when it doesn't rise to the occasion of, quote, an emergency, just being able to deal with that has to be helpful.
Yes. The emergency transportation operations is kind of like the bucket that the staging drill fell under, and ETO, that's the acronym. We got acronyms for everything. Of
course.
That's right.
So I'll give you another one.
DOT with that acronym.
Yeah. TIM is traffic incident management. And so traffic incident management is like the day-to-day way that I'm involved in emergency management operations. And so that's happening almost every day. There's typically a crash in the region somewhere every day, unfortunately. So what do we have to do to ensure that the system opens safely and quickly with our partner agencies? That's the goal of TIM. How do we get the road back open? How do we get the system functioning as normal with our partner agencies safely? And especially ensuring that our forces and first responders are kept safe during that response activity. And then that emergency transportation operations, the longer term planning and larger event, recovery and response, that's a less common occurrence, but definitely one that we need to pay attention to and prepare for.
Well, I think I speak for Anya when I say that, we appreciate the work that you guys do, even if it isn't always, out front in the public's eye, but we really appreciate the work you do to keep our roads safe for us and for our families and for our friends and for all New Yorkers. So thank you so much for that, and thank you for taking some time today to sit down and chat with us about this. It's been fantastic. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks.
It's been fun. Thank you.
Well, that'll just about do it for us here from the DOTP POD. Thanks so much for tuning in, whoever and wherever you may be doing so. We're certainly glad to have you on board in this, our third season of the DOT POD.
Yay.
Anya, another good one here today.
Oh, yeah. This kind of brings me back to my time when I was a reporter working in news and going into the dispatch centers and seeing everything that's kind of behind the scenes. It's always really interesting and fascinating to see how we do the work that we do.
Yeah, and check out the pictures. It's a really cool setup in there, and it's very unique. So definitely check that out as well. So again, thanks to everyone for tuning in, and thanks to our guests, Anthony and Elana, for joining us here today. We will be back next time, and until then, she's Anya, I'm Josh. We'll be right here on the DOT POD.